boy. Green gear. Divine. Go fast. Is my Kodama here? Like, that would be funny. The 7th Kodama is after the mission. Laying outside. Probably not. I think I just missed the Kodama somewhere else, but... Nope, no Kodama. Kelly got beat. Yamada no Orochi got beat. I am the ultimate badass. Snake, I will fuck you up. Get out of here.
Edward Kelly, you will go to Japan.
It will be as you command, Sir D. All of this country's Amrita are being taken to him. All of your efforts worthless.
They were not worthless.
Spirit waifu!
Turen Serarish, Snatira, Sanishka, Foni Isha and Va Agus and Bos. Is Feder lat Bosa all Agus Tiakter Serarish Ad Agus Sound Dumpson. Tos Sersha a good own Moss. Sersha, Shine Sanandum. Bega Undum Sa Adiska Krekik Tu Unum.
You finally did it. The war is over. With the ninja to span now.
No. There are still rocks Fumin Lord Ieyasu hub. Ninja will serve as long as darkness exists. What about you?
I won't trouble you again. I'll disappear. I have no desire to be killed.
あいつは侍とは違うと思ったけど、やっぱり同じよ。身勝手で無神経で冷たくて。
信長殿はそんなことを言ったか。いずれにせよ、お主のおかげで太平の礎を築くことができた。諸将の調略、あやかしの重複、こたびの戦、表裏よりよくぞ支えてくれた。まさに仁王のごとき働きである。
ありがたきお言葉。安仁は死に申した。こたびの戦における異国の者どものあやかしの騒ぎ、そして霊石の存在を知る者ももはやおりませぬ。
頂上じゃ。これより天下はあやかしではなく人のよう。関ヶ原が真実はしさねばなるまいの。安仁と申す者、生きておれば領を任じようとも志願しておったが、残念にの。
失礼つかまつる。
安仁が死んだじゃと。半蔵も嘘が下手じゃ。ついとる化け猫も呆れておった。
すべては巡り巡る。家康はこの後江戸幕府を築き、250年以上の長きにわたる戦乱なき世を作った。
Nice. Oh man. I'll turn down that music a bit. There we go. So, let's discuss the game. As always, end of the game, always do an impromptu little review. So, from a large-scale perspective, awesome. Like, love the game. Combat, tons and tons of fun. I like the variety in the combos. I mean, at the end of the day, I pretty much used, like, I had 2 cookie-cutter combos that got me through the game. The basic square spam and top stance of the Kusarigama, and then the low stance combo into tangling strike finisher. Like, those 2 combos I probably could have gotten through the whole game with. So, I did feel like I was mixing my combo chain up solely for the fact of mixing it up. Like, I was mixing it up just to try and, you know, not use the same thing over and over. At the same time, though, I do feel there's a lot more depth into the combat that I didn't fully utilize. Like, if I had been doing weapon stance swaps and changing into other stances to continue combos a lot more, I think it could have been expanded upon. So, I think that's more just a fault of my own with being so satisfied with those combos of killing everything. So, all in all, on a 10-point scale, I'm going to give the combat a 10. Let's see, what else? Story, honestly love the story. I really like how it kind of pulls from history and it's like inspired by real events, even though, you know, there's not like fucking yokai running around Japan or anything, but and also the Sir William dude was never running around with the sword fighting people. he was a sailor. But I do like how it's based around real events and kind of like a story woven around that, so that's pretty awesome. So, story, all about. Some things I didn't like. Honestly, the number one thing, hands down, monster variety. Like, about halfway through the game, I feel like we had seen everything. Like, the last couple monsters we encountered, let's see, there's the weird, like, the snow woman, I guess that's what she was. She was probably a snow woman, that was, like, shooting out the scarf thing at you. There was the tongue yokai, and then there was the tengus. And, like, those were the last 3 real enemy types that I mean, I guess you had the more humanoid version of the demon, but that was still kind of like your basic yokai, just powered up. But, you know, like, I had encountered all 3 of those archetypes by probably halfway through the game, and, you know, that was it. It was just more of the same enemy. So I think that is the one thing they could have definitely improved upon, is the enemy variety. I felt the bosses were definitely distinct enough, which is really nice. You know, you think back to Dark Souls 2, for example, where everything was a fucking knight, and that was a huge turnoff for that game. And I think they did a really good job here of creating fights that had variety in both the mechanics and kind of like the overall look of the boss. I mean, considering that you had some humanoid bosses and then others that were yokai, you know, they could have very easily fallen into the pitfall of it just being like, oh, this is a demon and this is a new demon and here's another demon. And, you know, I think they did a really good job of kind of varying up how the yokai bosses were. Like, they most of them had like a central theme around them, if you will, but I really enjoyed that. On a difficulty scale, at the end of the day, I'm going to say not as hard as Souls, only because of what you have available to you as a player. I think the inclusion of, like, Sloth and Discord, I mean, not even, like, Sloth definitely, but I mean, Discord alone, I would say Discord more than Sloth even, had a huge difficulty shift. Like, there would be bosses where I would be fighting the boss and I would get up Discord and its health went from, like, you know, I'd go through about a quarter of the boss's health to get Discord applied, and then once it was up, it was done. Like, the next 3/4 of the boss's health bar would just be absolutely decimated. And I think we really showed that and how that happens. We were taking out the 4 bosses prior to Nobunaga. I think we had a really good chance to, you know, kind of reiterate that point, that Discord is ridiculously powerful. But I do like that they have those things available. I think one of the big kind of turnaway points from a series like Souls is the difficulty. Like, it's literally like you just got to get good. And I think they still had that here, but I like that they gave the player more options. Like, in Souls, I feel like it comes down to one thing. If you want to survive in Souls, you need to dodge and hit. And that's it, really. You need to dodge and hit, dodge and hit. There's no, like, I mean, there's skill to it, but there isn't a high skill ceiling in Souls. Like, once you hit the ability to dodge and strike and just play patiently, you can beat any Souls boss. Whereas in this game, I feel like there was a lot more variety in how you could take your approach. You know, whether it was going to be using lots of Omyo, or like I did, using shit tons of ninjutsu. I like that it gave the player more tools to work with. Possessed by Seriosi. Nice. Music, I like the music a lot, but I would have liked a couple more distinct boss themes. I think a lot of the boss theme music's kind of overlapped with that, you know, this is the boss fight type thing. So it would have been nice to see a little bit more there. There's still something I must do. The Two Kings Nioh has been unlocked. So we got the Two Kings Nioh. We got a meeting on the other shore. And then we have the Queen's Eyes still. I mean, overall, if I had to give it a total score, I would say this is like a 9 out of 10. Because even despite the enemy variety, I mean, I still had a blast playing it. And honestly, with a game that's kind of like, I look at this as the child of like Ninja Gate and Diablo and Souls put together. And when you consider how Diablo works, you know, enemy variety isn't exactly the most plentiful thing. Like, you start to see the same types of enemies as you continue to grind through and get gear. So, by the nature of the game, I think they actually did a pretty good job, all things being considered. But, you know, it is something that could have been improved on. So, anyway, looking at our menu, obviously we got 2 new missions. This being a fucking green quality fire Kusarigama. So, I gotta do that. I gotta do this. And then we got a main mission. So, we're going to have at least one more episode, possibly 2, but make sure to stay tuned, and we will catch you guys then with more Nioh.